If you've never seen the internals of a shock, this will be the video for you. All right, so we've been running Dobinsons USA for several years, well over 200,000 miles across multiple vehicles on their MRR suspension, IMS suspension, and more, even their twin tubes. We've never actually needed to rebuild a shock. We've never seen anything leak or anything. But for the first time, we decided to see what goes into a rebuild. So Dobinsons USA invited us out to Miami. We went down there, checked out the whole process, everything from disassembly, cleaning, parts, and reassembly. I've never seen any shocks disassembled at all. I've never seen the internals of these products at all. I had no idea what we were going to see, but we want to share that with you and show you the whole process because we found it pretty interesting. All right, so to start the process off, they relieve nitrogen pressure from the shock. If oil spits out during the pressure release process, they'll right away know it has been bottomed out. And you'll also notice he points the kit away from his face in case it's about to spit oil. Next, they remove the cap to gain access to the center of the remote reservoir. This requires lubrication to minimize force. There shouldn't be any oil inside the reservoir. If there is oil, it suggests the shock was bottomed out and oil was forced past the floating piston. Because Dobinsons knows their customer base, they know that their customers are going to be looking to rebuild their products at some point, and they actually offer rebuild kits for these products, and they do it in-house, and that's just something that most people don't know about. It's a common question we get when we're at shows and people are looking at our suspension. O-rings are obviously wear items, so Dobinsons inspects each seal to try and identify damage. Any rebuild they offer involves replacing all O-rings with fresh ones, regardless of how they look. You'll see that each one of these kits comes with a factory warranty sticker to prove that the shock hasn't been tampered with. It's important to know that these kits are operating as designed and as they were when they shipped from the factory. One of the coolest things we saw is the unique equipment that they used during the process. This included an imported hydraulic press designed to keep these shocks straight during the rebuild. This definitely isn't something that we can jerry-rig from Harbor Freight. Definitely don't try this at home. These sorts of tools allow them to rebuild their kits quickly and get their customers back on the road, and I have to admit they're pretty innovative. So one of the first questions you have when you are buying a performance suspension is, when does this suspension fail and when do I have to rebuild this thing? Because these are rebuildable, unlike stock suspensions that come on these vehicles. In the case of my research, the industry standard appears to be somewhere around 12,000. That seems pretty low, but at the same time, it depends what you're doing with that suspension. Dobinson seems to be around that 30,000 mile range. It's clear that it's been stress tested well beyond that. Now, by personal experience, I've never had a failed Dobinsons shock anywhere close to the 30,000 mile range. I've never had one fail, period. But at the same time, you have to do some sort of maintenance on these products. And it depends if you're in the north, if you're dealing with a lot of rust, you could be one of these Baja guys, you know, dogging that thing across the desert. And so obviously your use case is gonna be different. If you're a mall crawler, this thing's probably gonna last well beyond whatever limitations that they say it will. And remember, these brands have to put some sort of a timeline on the use of their products. So keep that in mind. Next up, Dobinsons tests the tightness of its internal hardware. For instance, this lock nut can be a failure point if it becomes loose. Dobinsons inspects or replaces all piston shims to make sure none are cracked or damaged. I found it interesting that the head assembly is a combination of 3 seal components. There's a guide bush, a wiper seal, and an O-ring, and the tolerances are so tight that they are actually machined in Japan. When sliding the seals and components onto the shaft, Dobinsons even uses a specific tool called the bullet to allow them to easily guide components into place without causing any micro damage. Extra care is taken to ensure the piston is replaced exactly as it was upon disassembly. Every component is torqued to spec. That's 35 pounds in the case of this top nut. Since the top is spring-loaded, it's important to restrain the components to avoid losing an eye. Dobinsons has seen grime get inside the rebound rod in extreme cases, so they always check inside to ensure the spring isn't broken and the rod isn't seized. With those components inoperable, rebound adjustment would be lost. Take a look at the difference between this new rebound rod and one removed from one of their northern clients. It's a crazy difference. The attention to detail during this process is unreal. Did you know even the spring is directional? I definitely did not. Dobinsons has a special oil blend for their monotube shock. This fluid is replaced during a rebuild to ensure there are no contaminants. The amount of oil used is extremely important and is responsible for keeping air out of the system. I think it's really cool that Dobinsons offers this service, since it's obvious to me that this isn't a job for amateurs, and I definitely would not be doing this on my own. Last but not least, once the shock is reassembled, they clean it up and replace the warranty sticker. So that wraps up the entire process. Check out DobinsonsUSA.com. There's a link called Shock Service. It has way more information than even what we provided in this video. If you know Dobinsons, they got great customer service. Hit them up with a call, shoot an email. They're very, very responsive, and they'll answer 1,000 of the same questions again and again every single day. But hopefully you learned something. Thanks for watching.